everybody. There's going to be rattling in the back because I have a rat with me. Everybody is kind of going crazy, so we're not adopting out any animals right now, rehoming anybody. We are at our max at our rescue, but this one place where I have to go and pick up food is going to take in one rat. The one place I go to pick up and take in food, there's a really, really good friend of mine who I really trust, and she is just going to take in this one rat because he needs to stay alone, and she just really is a good person and definitely can give him the time and love he deserves while all this is going on. And we have a bunch of permanent resident animals, and then we are maxed out on our rescues, so it's the best situation, and we're going all the way out there anyway, so we're not going to have contact with each other, just kind of like a quick swap, and that's perfect. So anyways, I hope you're all doing good. I went in and reported that my ex had me followed and had me threatened and a bunch of other things that went really awful recently. Like, I'm talking death threats, sexual assault threats, nasty stuff that's unforgivable and not something I can just look past ever, of course, and shouldn't have to. So I went in and reported that, and then said it's ridiculous with me being quarantined that, the police basically said for no reason stay home and don't stay at the same location because they could figure it out. So keep switching locations, stay at different hotels, stay wherever you can, at a shelter, at friends, go state to state if you have to. Literally can't do any of that right now. So I've been getting it twice as bad since then. So I just said I feel like it's ridiculous that they haven't gone and made sure for my safety and my kids' safety, especially my kids' safety. And I care way more about them than my family, than myself. But I think it's ridiculous that I'm sitting here in fear, and they've literally went and searched for him multiple times. He's a fugitive, which I'll get to in a minute, and they're not doing anything. So the wonderful, wonderful person I had talked to at Franklin did a wonderful job. Is a younger male. It said SWAT on his thing, so I'm not sure what his exact rank is and stuff along those lines. I'm not going to give out his personal information. He finally seemed to care and listen, and that night he made sure that my ex was found. He not only has the 2 sexual assault 2 charges he's facing that I'm the victim in, but then the 4 DV charges, 1 against my youngest daughter and then 3 with me. So all of that is said, and all of that aside, they picked him up and also added that he was a fugitive of the law. So he, at least until the end of April, will be remanded to the location he's at now in Illinois. And then they have an extradition order. If he tries to fight the extradition, then it could take longer, but he cannot be bailed while there. And then when he gets extradited, he could be facing bail. Well, I was excited. I was happy that they caught him, and literally a couple days later, my car almost gets driven off of the road. The one day I leave to go and pick up food and medication and everything, the one day I have to leave, he gets almost driven off the road. The next day, my home cameras get bashed in and broken, and I get hang-up calls threatening that if I don't drop the charges, I'm dead. So I was a wreck. I called the DA, the DA's assistant, and I called the police. They came, did a property damage report, talked to me, and they're like, well, with the hang-up calls, if it's blocked and they're calling your cell phone, it can be hard to trace or impossible, so you can let us know, but you don't have to. And then I talked to the DA's assistant, and she was like, well, if you don't report it, it's like it never happened. So even if they can't find anything on it, you need a report so it can all go in the file. So even if it's a block hang-up call, they didn't leave a voicemail, there's no recording of it, you still have to go in. So of course, I called back the person who really helped me and actually went and found my ex. I left a voicemail and said, can we do an interview where I actually sit and talk to you and you make sure to mark down every single thread, everything I have screenshotted, make sure it's all in there, everything that's happened, especially recently, that's directly linked to him, because I want to be sure it all goes there. And then since he can't get bail where he is at now, he could be moved over, extradited, then he could, there's a bunch of court dates, she said, but then they could give him a plea deal. And I told the people, look, the 10-year restraining order I got against him states that not only did he try to commit commit manslaughter 1, 2, and 3 against me, but he still had the intention to. I'm still in physical therapy when the 2 assaults at hand were November and September. I'm still in physical therapy, and they have me booked out till June. I'm still in pain. I'm going to need surgery. My shoulder's torn. My neck has so much damage. My skull was fractured, and I had more than 20 concussions in 30 months. He tried to kill me. I have stab wounds. I have burns. I told her I think it's a joke that he's not getting attempted murder, when literally at a restraining order hearing, just by talking to the guy for a few minutes, the court commissioner and the judge or whatever, they could see 100% that he still had the intent to do it again, and that he 100% did do it. He did try to kill me. And I told her that I feel like I'm going to talk to my attorney and the DA about going separately further and trying to actually get attempted homicide, because that's what needs to happen. And that I know there's 2 rape 2 charges with modifiers and 4 domestic violence charges with modifiers, but even if they drop one of the rape 2 charges, I don't think that's fair, because I think he should be getting attempted murder. So I said if they give him some plea deal that I'm not okay with, I will go in court that day, even if he accepts it, and I will go up to the judge and talk, write a letter or talk, whatever is best, and state my piece, because he should not get off with it. And I told them 150%, even if he pled guilty to all 4 domestic violences and did them one after another, but they dropped both of the sexual assault things, which are, rape 2, sexual assault in the 2nd degree. The only reason they did 2 rape 2 charges is simply because I went in and I had the sexual assault kit, but then I waited. I said I didn't want to press charges. I went forward, did the whole spiel, sexual assault kit, everything, and then I hesitated. So it was just easier to go because he at multiple occasions hurt me sexually. It was easier to do 2 sexual assault 2 charges, but with modifiers. So as they basically explained, it's kind of like it's sexual assault 1 because they're modifying it anyway. It's not just simply sexual assault 2, which is still awful and heinous and whatever. I told him that there's no reason I think either should be dropped, but if both are dropped, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with him not getting attempted murder, and I will be talking to the DA about that, the judge about that, and my specific and personal lawyer, as well as the police. And I told them I've been now in physical therapy. They should just take the notes on that, because they can prove my skull was fractured. I've got literally so much damage to my skull, it's unbelievable. My neck has torn muscles, my shoulder is torn, needs to be surgically fixed. The damage along my upper spine, especially in my upper rib cage and back, was enough that it's shocking that I'm moving and walking around. Even now, it's shocking I'm alive. That's without the stab wounds and the burns and everything else. This is ridiculous. This is someone who tortured me for 30 months and at the end tried to end my life and almost succeeded. Very, very close to succeeded. This isn't right. This is a rapist who's got other victims. He has an underage victim who is his own niece we threw through a glass door. He said, I just, accidentally pushed her through it, while the statement says thrown through it. So, and that's what she said. Then you also have the fact that the girl before me has a restraining order against him. He's got OWIs. He's got drinking problems that he never, ever went and did the court-ordered classes for. He got discharged from the military, not honorably, but literally dishonorably discharged. I know there's 2 types of dishonorably discharged. One is if you mess up, but it's not, you didn't shoot somebody or do something do drugs on whatever. It was something along those lines, because he kept not going to things, kept back talking. It was for those kind of things. No, he didn't go and shoot somebody, but he also had a girl there that he did things sexually with that were not willing. There's no proof of that, but he's admitted it to me, and that was a big part of why he didn't want to show up to one of the areas and why he got sent home. So, and he was only in there about, I think, a year and a couple months, a year and a half at most. So it wasn't like he was there for 10 years and screwed up. He's dangerous. He's a black belt. He's a drug addict, an alcoholic, and somebody who I think drug addicts can be good people that are just misleaded and that just have a disease that's not good. But he is somebody who uses them to get a rage high and then go on a spree of abusing people, and it's wrong. He is manipulative, and since he does like African American men very much so, he dates a lot of and I think there are African American men that are better doctors and lawyers and therapists than white men or women or anybody of any color, but he likes the stereotypically likes drugs. So he likes to find African American men that deal drugs, that gangbang, because he's attracted to that specific lifestyle. He doesn't like the Mexican men who do it or the white men or women who do it, because everybody does it. Nobody's void of that. No one's better or worse. But he likes African American men that do that, and big guys, and he's the female role, and he gets them in his life. And then since he's kind of like, that is ammo against them, you know, he knows that they're selling drugs and he knows that they're sleeping with a man, so they will go and continue to harass me. And I'm sober and literally doing nothing other than raising my kids, running an animal rescue, trying to heal from this. Like, he's dangerous, and he's literally had people, his family's harassed me and said awful things about me and to me. They know his adopted mother, who is just as awful as him, and probably why he's so warped, has said 100 times he's an evil person, wicked person, because he's never been held accountable. No one's ever made him be a man, and that she regrets. Yet she's sitting there and helping him hide at her properties, yet she's not making him be accountable. And I reached out to her dozens of times when he refused to talk to her, and I begged her for some advice, for some help, for anything. And now it's, you know, oh well, I'm the bad guy because it's her son and she's got to stand by him. If one of my kids ever does anything like this, I will stand by the person they did it to, not my child. I don't care if it's one of my daughters. I don't care if I adopt a son one day or a daughter, whatever it may be. I will always stand up for what's right. Doesn't matter if they're related to me or not. Doesn't matter if they're my adopted kid or not, or my family member, my best friend. If you are a rapist, an attempted murderer, and a repeat offender, that's that. He's 30 years old this year. He's going to be 30 years old literally in 1 month. This is enough. He's a man. He's messed up time and time again. He's stolen from her. He's been very verbally abusive towards her. He has done things sexually forcefully to minors. He's done things sexually forcibly to people while in the military, to me. He has been physically abusive to multiple people. He's a pathological liar, which his friends know because of some of the things they accused him of. One of his friends named Michael, I won't say the last name, but you know who you are if you're watching this. He knows what a liar he was. He literally was sitting there and saying that Michael tried to basically have sex with him while he was sleeping, and then in return he went and slept with Michael's girlfriend, Michael's mom, and Michael's sister. And it spread that around everywhere to the point where I was like, Jesus, like, that's awful. And he wasn't talking to Michael, who messaged me, and I was like, look, because basically if that stuff was true, if it was that bad, like, you should get why he's not talking to you. It was all made up, and eventually my ex admitted it. But everything out of his mouth is crazy and warped, and he says awful things about his own mother, which I had proof of and screenshots of, but then the adoptive mother. But then, you know, he can scream at her and call her every name in the world and damage her property and drink her alcohol and take her car and money. But then, you know, because it's her son, he can literally cause me to have a miscarriage early on and threaten to kill my entire family, threaten to kill his ex's entire family, you know, attempt to murder me, sexually assault me, hurt his child, you know, damage my property, break glass, fucking damage everything, go in blackout rages, and you're going to defend him. That's sick. And now his friends are literally threatening to sexually assault me and make me really live through something awful. They're threatening to do horrific and just despicable things with me and to me. They're breaking my cameras, they're following me, driving me off the road. I've had somebody try to grab me. It's getting unbearable. And there's stuff I can't even talk about on here because it's still stuff they're looking into, and I can't stand it. So basically I called and said I think it's ridiculous, because sexual assault, you can remand somebody. So I don't think he should get bail when he comes back here. He's a fugitive of the law. They couldn't find him for months. And now they're holding him, thank God, till the end of April. But if at the end of April he comes over here, he could get a bail. It's going to be a high bail with all the things, but he could get it. And he could have his very loaded, rich, adopted, awful, awful mother could go and bail him. And that's that. He literally had his friend tell me that 100%, if he gets bail while he's here, right up the road from my house, the jail's like 25 minutes away, I'm dead, I'm done. And I believe him, because he did almost kill me. Very, very close, inches away from it. Not even. Like, this is ridiculous. So I'm very upset that it's not I just would like them to say, hey, you know what, the DA knows how serious this is, and no matter what he wants to plead to or not, we're not going to offer him a deal, because he should get attempted murder. We're not going to offer him a deal that gets rid of everything that's sexual assault, and we most certainly are going to keep you in the loop and keep you updated. And on top of all of that, we will look further into the attempted murder, and we're going to go and have you sign off on your physical therapy stuff, because I have the sexual assault kit, and all the doctors I went to directly after, they have signed off, where they get all the notes, they get all the reports, the x-rays, the everything. But I was like, you need to actually have me go and sign off with the physical therapist I've been working with now too, so you can see that the damage is so extensive that I can barely walk sometimes, and I faint because I'm so dizzy with the head traumas, and that I was clearly, I have tears that aren't just repairable from physical therapy and need extensive work. And on top of that, scars that won't ever heal, and burns that won't ever go away, and things that I'll forever have as reminders. And on top of all of that, it was so obvious that I shouldn't be alive that it's not funny to them. It's not funny. It's not a joke. It's scary. And I know that if I'm gone, he is also going to try to take my girls with me and my grandparents with me, because that's what he said he would do. And the ex that he threatened and tried to harm, he went after her whole family. He had threatened all of them, went ballistic, and if it wasn't for the court stepping in just with the restraining order and him being afraid of jail in that situation, he would be done. And it sucks because he gets away with everything. He has been caught drinking and driving so many times that he has one drinking and driving charge. But he's been pulled over and breathalyzed and talked himself out of it and flirted his way out of it with male police officers. It's not funny. It's not right. He gets away with everything because his mother bails him out of everything, and she's going to let either me die, me and my children die, or the next person die, and most likely as well as me. She needs to really realize that she knows I reached out to her along the entire 30 months and begged her to tell me something that could help, something to do. Is there any way? Is there anything that helps? She knows what he put me through. She knows that we lost, that I lost a pregnancy because of him. She knows that it's because he's kicking me in the stomach and beating me. She knows that he sexually assaulted me, that he's done twisted, horrible, sick things to me. She knows everything that he's done. She knows he's guilty. She knows what he's done to other people and to her. She needs to stop him. She needs to stop him, because it's not a death sentence. It isn't right now homicide, which it should be. It should be attempted homicide. And one day it's going to be, if she doesn't make him actually do his time and fucking own up to something. She always said one time his dad went because he apparently wasn't paying back a car that his dad had bought, even though I had paid for the whole thing to get fixed, all the new tires, just because, he wasn't making payments apparently to his dad, which I didn't know he had to make, and he said he didn't have to make. The dad came and just took it with his sister, who's apparently his real mom, but it's just a shit mess. So anyway, I took it, and I said, that's ridiculous. I just put complete new tires all the way around on it. I spent hundreds and hundreds, more than $500 of money on just repairing it, getting new parts on top of the new tires, so almost $1,000 or whatever, $1,000 into this car. And she's like, well, for once, his father's making him accountable when he doesn't do something right. I think he should have done this a long time ago. Yet now you're going to literally hide him when he is a rapist. He is an attempted murderer. I'm not the first victim. There's a list of us. You know this. So I beg, if somebody can get this to her, or somehow she sees this, I beg you to I'm not going to try to, if he just goes and admits what he does, even if he doesn't admit it, if he just has to realize he cannot get away with literally attempting to kill someone, raping someone, beating them, beating a child out of them, if he knows he can't get away with that, he can't send people to break my cameras. He can't harass me, threaten me. And he sits there and goes, oh, well, I wasn't around my family a lot during this time. And she's like, oh, well, one of his sisters said something along the lines online of oh, well, she's not letting him talk to us. I messaged his family, his adopted mom, his sisters so many times and said, hey, I'm showing this to Chris. Hey, what can I do? Hey, this is what he's doing. I'm terrified. I feel trapped. how am I the one who was doing it? I reached out the whole time. I kept them involved. I called and let them know what was going on when he was taken in for having a prescription that wasn't his and got arrested for it. He got taken in. I called and kept them updated. I sent them the message about my youngest daughter and about everything going on with that. I sent her a message about when I had the baby. He didn't. I did everything, but yet somehow I'm the one who kept him away. Your son was away because he said he's a toxic person when he's with you, and that I would be getting it twice as bad if he was near you. So if I wanted you in our lives, I could contact you, but he wanted no part of it while he was working on his anger. And you know that's damn well true, because I've told you that, because I've said everything to you. I've been honest with you. I'm not the liar. You know your son is the liar. I'm the one who has proof, and that's why they went and picked him up. That's why he has the sexual assault warrants, because he did it. That's why he has a domestic violence warning, because you heard my grandmother, go up there and describe him beating me while I was holding our 1 week old to the dot, 1 week old newborn. While he was swinging so badly, the hits were hitting her. You heard all of that. Yet you're hiding him. You aren't helping anybody, and you are desperately adding to the problem. If you ever want this person to grow up and be accountable for anything, and you ever want him to actually have a hope at changing, which I don't think he can, he needs to be accountable, and you need to see that, because you know we did it. You know it. And I'm so frustrated because now he's got his friends bashing in my lights, and his ex can vouch for this, and I'm sorry to put this out there, I'm not going to name her, but you know who she is if you're listening, as far as my ex's mother. The ex before me, who lived with you, literally caught him prostituting himself with men to make extra money, and then threatening to do drugs with the money and a bunch of other obnoxious stuff that I'm not going to get into, because that's not the point. The point is, he does have a lot of drug connections, and he does very, very often frequent dangerous men, go to Chicago to have orgies with these men. He does a lot of things that are dangerous, and connections with people that could really hurt you if they come around by your properties. He doesn't realize that everything he does has been without consequence, and it should have had consequence, and you need to make him own up to it, because at the end of the day, he hasn't owned up to a damn thing, and he's literally sitting there while he just got picked up and being arrogant enough and ballsy enough to have people try to drive me off the road and threaten me. And I guarantee you, as much as it's probably not his PC friends he brings around you, it's those men that he has wrapped around his finger and other things. That's the people who are harassing me, and that's, your son is a bad person. And if you want him to ever have a chance at being a real man and changing, just like you said, his father, may he rest in peace, his father made him do, his father made him accountable. You need to do that too, because you are the reason he's this way. You are the one who he said was the most toxic person in his life that caused everything. You are. I tried to reach out and keep you in his life. I tried to reach out and keep you updated, informed, knowing about the girls, everything. He didn't want you there. It was him. He's ran away how many times? He's went to Florida. He's become a drug addict on and off. He's drank. He's stolen from you. It's not me. It's not the girl before me and the 5 girls and guys before that. It's him. And you need to make him accountable, so if he has any minimal chance of changing, he needs to learn he can't get away with everything. And you know I'm right. And you know I'm not lying. You heard me. You saw me. You heard my words. You heard what I was saying. You know I was being truthful, because you know it matches what I told you. You know it's true. You saw the pictures. You saw the evidence. You've seen what he's done. You know what he is. Make him, at the very least, don't sit there and bail him out so he can kill me, because my life and my daughter's lives, my family's lives are in your hands then, because you go and you allow him to continue to scare me and scare my family and my elderly grandparents and my tiny children that are both under 5. That's ridiculous. You need to make him, for once, just realize he can't get away with beating the hell out of people to near death, to stabbing people, to raping people. Are you kidding? Come on, he's never, ever been accountable. I'm sorry I'm so upset in this, but the fact is that literally the second he gets picked up and the second I have any comfort, this is what happens. He one-ups it. He scares me more. It's, oh, well, you're dead. You're dead if you keep going. And it's true, because I almost did die. He's going to kill me. So please, just for once, make him sit a minute and see that he cannot get away with everything. Please. Because if not, my daughter's lives and mine are done. And I know that's true. So I'm pleading with you to just think about this. You heard me. You heard my grandmother, she wasn't even in the room to hear anything. She walked up and she described in the most horrific detail what she saw him doing while I was holding that newborn. And you know her words were real. Even if you don't care about me, you don't like me, fine. I did try to keep you in our lives. I did try to keep the family there. But while I'm getting my face bashed in, getting concussion after concussion, broken bone after broken bone, a crushed nose, stitches, like literally stuff that I needed stitches that he would sit there and burn the injuries closed. But you know what? He said, oh, well, it's going to be worse if I bring my mom in her life. And I still messaged you and kept you in the loop. I still tried. But no, I didn't sit there and harass him to call you, because you know what? Then he would beat the shit out of me every time I did. And you know I'm being honest. You know him better than anybody, most likely. Not better than me, because he's never raped you. No offense, that is as evil as someone can be, and I've seen the darkest side of him, not you. But you've seen close. Please, don't. He's a monster you helped make. Do something about it, because if I ever create a monster, I'll do something about it. I'm not going to punish them, kill them, do something illegal, but I would make them pay for what they did in a legal, just way. This is ridiculous that he can be taken in and still cause havoc and still be this arrogant and still think that he can get away with everything. I will fight till I'm blue in the face for this to have everything stick, for them to hear the truth and make him serve everything one after another, not consecutively, not all at the same damn time. I want to push the DA to look at the physical therapy notes and x-rays and everything and go for attempted murder as well, because this is ridiculous. I get these charges already of a warrant there. There is no statute on murder or attempted murder with the level of battery and rape there was in it. And I will push so hard. So if he just for once has to see that he has to man up to it. At least the very minimal charges that he has against him compared to what he's done to me and so many others. That's the least he deserves, and you know it. He is so dangerous. Think about this, he doesn't have me as his punching bag right now. And if he's got an ankle bracelet when he's bailed or something like that, it's going to be with you. Your life is at risk too. And if, as much as you don't give a shit about me, obviously, or anybody else, but yourself and your own selfish needs to make things seem okay in your world, you could be next. And as much as I don't like a damn thing about you because of what you've helped him do, by enabling him, by creating him to be part of the monster he is, and by hiding him away and taking him to fight things that he did to be a bad person, I don't want you dead. Because I don't want anybody dead. I don't want him dead. I want him to learn he cannot keep doing this, because I don't want other victims to be out there, and I really don't want you to be a victim either. So please, I know you're strong and capable. Please realize what he is. Know this is true, because you know it is. And do something, because my life has been a daily hell, and with this COVID-19, I can't leave my house. He is a monster with some monster friends you don't know about, and I do all too well. And there are things I won't even say because of this being an open investigation that you need to realize are horrific. Please, at the very least, don't again bail him out so he can just go and rape the next person. And so you might end up dead if he doesn't have anyone else to take his anger out on, because I don't want that, and you know you don't either. Please. This has gone far enough, long enough. 30 years of being a really wicked person, starting around when he was 16, that he was doing some awful shit. You know that. He's told me that. His friends have told me that. He needs to be stopped before it's something real awful, before multiple children are dead at his hands, multiple adults are dead at his hands, and before he has a chance to actually go through with what he tried and almost succeeded doing to me. So please, think about that. And to everybody else watching, thank you for the love and support. Thank you for seeing the evidence, knowing that so obviously to everybody, including the judge or court commissioner or whatever the hell it was, so obvious to everybody that it was true, that it was written in that he still was going to try to commit homicide if 1, 2, and 3, and rape 1, if he was allowed to be near me. And that he obviously did attempt it, and did go through with attempted homicide, and he did go through with rape 1. So, you know what? Everyone sees it. Everyone saw the evidence. This is ridiculous. I've been so public and so open because I want to be transparent, because I don't want anyone to go through what I went through. And to anybody out there in an abusive situation, I didn't leave right away because he threatened to kill my entire family and attempted to kill me and beat me for months. And I went to counselors and made sure that he thought it was just about, my PTSD, stuff along those lines. And I went and talked to them and got a safety plan. It took 6 months plus, but I got out safely. I got out with police help, and I am alive today. So if you need help or advice, please, I made a post that you can comment on. It's like just on my page post. Please make a comment if you need someone to talk to. If there's a video you need to see or a question you have that you even want me to make a video on, I will do it. Please hang in there and be safe, everybody. This isn't a good topic to talk about, but I'm never going to hide anything, and I'm not going to bullshit anyone, because I am not that way. That's the one thing I'm not. I'm not going to sit there anymore and be silent, because I was, and it's not fair, and it's not right, and it's not fair to the next person. So please be safe, everybody. And with this COVID-19 outbreak, please be conscious. If you have anybody elderly near you, be so careful. Wash your hands 20 times if you have to. Make sure they're safe. People matter. People are important. I love you guys. Thank you all for giving me this outlet to talk on, because right now I need it.